My father was an angry man. That's all I ever remember. It's all I was ever told. And I'm a bad person. I'm just like him.
This charge carries an automatic 2-year minimum sentence.
I am part of all I have met.
Are you family?
I'm his teacher. Do you have anyone I can call? Where was the foster home you were staying at before?
I wasn't in a foster home. I was living in my car.
You have a convicted felon living with you.
What exactly do you know about this kid?
We have got to get you back in school.
Why? Show him I'm a con? I'm a poor little homeless boy? I'm a charity case? It'll make you feel good? What?
This is your only chance with the judge.
I can't do this. Everyone here is against me.
Why did you lie to me? Can't see you anymore.
Tina!
You can't afford a bullet anymore.
I don't care!
You know what happens when this gets in front of the judge.
Whether it's something your dad did to you or your mom didn't do, you have got to deal with it.
I can't do this.
This isn't good for you.
There's a good kid there.
It's my fault. What he did.
It wasn't your fault. We know this isn't a level playing field. Some kids are born behind the 8 ball. And we're lying to them when we say everything's gonna work out just fine. But don't those kids deserve the same chance as the others?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Saving the Seat. I am your humbled host, the one and only Joe Compton, joined by the one and only.
Well, you can call me Pooh Bear, you can call me Bryan Tann, but never ever call me late for Sunday football. Woo!
Yeah.
Fall, my favorite time of year, is back.
It's True Story Week, or based on a true story week here at Saving a Seat. Well, we just saw the trailer for our first film that we're going to be talking about, which is Brave the Dark. Again, based on a true story.
And I'm not ashamed to say this movie had me This movie had me in tears.
Really interesting.
I tell you, Brave the Dark had me like, there were parts where I don't even think I got to a part where I was angry. And I feel like a lot of this is because of just how, like, Jared Harris is one of those actors that does not get enough credit, in my opinion.
I agree.
The first time I saw Jared Harris in a film was Resident Evil Apocalypse. And I kind of feel bad that that's the case, because he was probably among the best parts of that movie. He deserves so much more than what he gets.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those faces too that you recognize in so many things, right? Nicholas Hamilton deserves a lot of credit in this movie as well. And the young man held his own for a good portion of this. He
wasn't terrible. I realize now where I've seen him from. So Nicholas Hamilton was Henry Bowers in the It films, in It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. And I'm not going to say that he was bad. He wasn't bad, but Jared Harris is so good.
Yeah.
That
Jared Harris warms the cockle shells and makes you feel like a big hug, you know?
Well, not only that, but it's kind of like, and you and I had this discussion off air in a regular everyday conversation years ago when the Aladdin live action remake came out. And we were talking about how Naomi Scott made the young man who played Aladdin look pedestrian because of how good she was.
Yeah.
This is another example of that. Nicholas Hamilton he's supposed to be the lead. He's a co-lead of this film, but Jared Harris is so good at what he does that he's almost a support. Because the story doesn't get told if it wasn't for his character.
I have to say, fundamentally, this movie's fine. It's made well. It's done well. And again, Jared Harris is exceptional.
The son of original Dumbledore.
Yeah. I just feel like we are one step away from Hallmark Movie of the Week. Kind of like
and some of the
after school special,
some of the dialogue, some of the delivery, some of the
music, some of the look of it. It all felt, and there was one shot that changed that for me a little bit. And the ending you can't go wrong with the ending.
The ending is what really made me cry because the character.
But it was very Hallmarky.
It was, but at the same token, because you get to see the
true people.
Yeah, the true people are in that last scene.
Yeah.
I think what really sort of took away that Hallmark movie, whatever, when Nate finally has that realization, when Charles Xavier's mental blocks finally fall down, when the trauma walls go down and he sees the whole truth. I think that is when it starts to feel like a movie.
Well, there's two moments for me. Well, first off, there would never be a fuck off in the Hallmark movies, which I thought was hilarious.
That was a great scene. I had this movie on at work and I was just laughing so hard at that scene. It was so great. Yeah, I don't think the good folks at Hallmark would be okay with that.
That was incredible. That was two actors kind of riffing on each other, doing an improv kind of exercise a little bit.
Just letting it go.
Yeah. And then, of course, I'm going to nerd out. This had a nerd out moment for me, and that was, I'm sure you know which scene I'm going to talk about, but the water scene is just phenomenal. The way that looks and the way it's shot and
that was
everything
very
about it.
well shot.
That was really awesome, and that was where this movie kind of went a little bit above for me, just a little bit.
Yeah, I think everything from that point to that realization.
Yeah.
It was really, really well done. This is a film where it doesn't waste a lot of time with the side characters, and I think that's where the sort of Hallmarky-ish feelings come through. There was a point where Nate and this guy, they're always butting heads because the guy has eyes on his girlfriend. So, but it's up to us to make up this bit of a backstory about that, where it's sort of like shoehorned in drama.
Yeah, there's also this weird love story between the two teachers that kind of gets glossed over.
It's glossed over, and there's no payoff.
But it's kind of like this weird thing, and it's an interracial relationship too. So it would have been nice to have a little bit more of that. But
in rural Pennsylvania in the mid '80s, in the early '80s, there's no way they probably would have been able to go too far with it anyway, because I believe this is like in Lancaster, PA. Shout out to Lancaster, but y'all ain't the most progressive folks, at least not back in the day. It was nice to see the old Pennsylvania license plates too. You've got a friend in Pennsylvania.
I mean, okay, and I have three other things to say about this movie. Okay, there was a good chuckle moment when he takes him to his old house, and he goes, "You aren't putting me in a home, are you?"
That was good. That's something that, look, if Bryan Jr. took me somewhere and I didn't know where we're going, it's like, oh shit, this boy's put me in. He's finally making good on that threat.
It totally looked like an assisted living house too.
It did too. It's like, yeah, Stan, I'm gonna sell your house and keep the money for myself while you have to deal with Ben Stiller's Hal.
My other thing is, if you lived in such a nice orphanage, like that looked like a nice place to live.
I'm
Why would you
serious.
ever live with your fucking grandparents in a farm?
I would not go anywhere near my grandparents. I mean, when he's talking about the orphanage, I'm thinking he's like rooming with Tom Riddle.
Right.
No, this place is nice.
This is a really good looking movie. It's really well done professionally. It's very
sound is good.
The sound is excellent, actually.
Sound is excellent.
There's a great moment at the very beginning when he's running, and the sound, and all you hear is the sound design. I thought that was fucking brilliant.
Look, we have a Hallmark channel. We have a whole channel dedicated to this level of filmmaking. Why? Because it's not complicated, and it's feel good, and it allows you to. It's kind of like, I like to call it blank slate, where you can have an existence that doesn't have to be boggled down by realities of where you live.
Can I help you?
I'm Sergeant Bobby Gaines with the Tennessee Special Narcotics Task Force.
This is my squad, as you can see.
Your murder investigation is now another Bobby Gaines buzz. This is my American Express. Never leave home without it.
Amen.
Hell yeah.
Vehicle's Dixie Mafia. They've been taking over the drug trade in small towns.
Our town, our rules. Plenty of room on Main Street for more dead city boys.
I've got a lead. Now we're talking. We grab Jasper, question him. You hear that sound? I think your balls just dropped. I can help you. Witness protection. Always want to do it in Miami? No.
The Memphis boys are doing a deal to start moving their stuff all over.
This is about distribution.
They tried to haggle and Travis was killed to make a point.
There's still more to this. This is still my investigation. Do it by the book. We don't have the same book. This dog downer guy has a large-scale drug operation here. They say that dog is a real animal. Let's go rattle his cage.
Yes!
You having trouble breathing?
No, I'm okay.
I got a feeling you ain't a cop. You got a line.
I have no line.
What kind of state cop is he?
That's you.
This guy, he ain't right.
There are no good men.
You just saw the trailer for Bad Man, and I just got one thing to say to you, Brian. You get a citation. Everyone here gets a citation. Everyone in the audience gets a citation. That cracked me up. There's some really, really funny lines in this movie.
There are, and we have to give a shout out. Rest in peace to Chance Perdomo. This was his final film. He passed away after finishing this, on his way to start filming Gen V, is it called? The Boys spinoff. And he was phenomenal in that first season. That was a great show. But with that said, Sean William Scott is the timeless wonder of comedy and action comedy.
He's an acquired taste. Let's put it that way.
Well, look, just because you hate Stifler, okay?
No, just the opposite. Because I think Stifler needs to be preserved a little bit more. I mean, you have Ethan Suplee in this for a little bit. You have Rob Riggle, who has probably the funniest line in the movie, which I'll get to in a little bit.
And then you have young Neil.
Young
Neil himself. Johnny said, "I'll tell you." Well, and Ethan, can we just say Ethan? I've loved Ethan Suplee since Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Okay, I loved him as Frankie the poet. And I loved him in the Kevin Smith films. I think the only time I hated Ethan Suplee was American History X. Seth in American History X is still his most loathsome part, even compared to this character in this, because in this he really got that menacing look that he couldn't have had as Seth.
I have an interesting juxtaposition for you, Mr. Tann.
Please.
So I am doing, as we're recording this, This Week in Indies is going on. And on that show, I did an Indie Film Connection. And on that show, the Indie Film Connection was about the Breakfast Club. So, of course, I included The Perks of a Wallflower in that, which in this movie is Brad.
Yes,
the
Brad.
gay quarterback.
Brad, yes, he is. Those are two of my favorite movies of all time, by the way.
Oh.
But yes, Brad, a.k.a. Johnny Simmons,
Simmons,
a.k.a. Young Neil. Yes.
Johnny Simmons is really, really good in this movie.
I love Johnny Simmons in this film. It kind of sucks that it's taken this long for him to have a quote-unquote breakout. But he was so great in this movie. He was an amazing straight man to Sean William Scott's absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, let's dissect as writers go that this movie is paint by the numbers, very difficult to, it gets clunky with the twist and everything like that. And
it's
that's
a little long too.
It is a little long. And this movie really loses a little bit of its footing about halfway through with the gags that are going on.
They were trying to be outlandish, but a dialed down outlandish, and that really boggled it down. If you're gonna go, if you don't want to be silly, then don't be silly. But it's like they get silly, but they try to dial back silly, and it feels very, very uneven.
Yeah. The other thing is, I really didn't like the twist. I really thought the twist was dumb.
The twist,
to be honest with you.
I saw the twist coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
It wasn't a twist.
Because they played it up pretty well at the beginning with me to my favorite line in the entire movie when they're getting ready to do the raid. And Rob Riggle goes, the police part goes in the front. That fucking made me lose it when they're putting on the vest.
The fact that you have to say that. The fact that you have to say it.
That was the greatest line I think I've ever heard. I was laughing for like 10 minutes.
Rob Riggle in this, everything it's just like him and
then they get in a prayer circle, which is just hilarious.
Yeah, you don't see that in like police departments, really. You just don't. Rob Riggle is so funny. And I think what makes him so funny is that, you and he both are USMC.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him so funny.
Yeah.
Is because he is a badass. Yeah. But he acts like a dope.
A goofy dope.
Yeah. What I really appreciated as well is how even when they're not, because they didn't really take a lot of time to develop these characters. These are paint by the numbers characters, but everyone that's in these roles do an amazing job.
Yeah.
The problem is that the comedy is so it doesn't fit the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like if you
the
look
seriousness of what was really going on, and
right. Like look at 48 Hours.
Yeah. I mean,
the silliness of 48 Hours still fits the darkness of
Beverly Hills Cop is a good
Beverly Hills Cop as well. It's like you're trying to pour 9 ounces of comedy in an 8-ounce serious cup. And it's okay because the actors make it work.
Yeah.
In their own way. And when it is time to get serious, the comedy, the people that are the most comedic aren't really there. Johnny Simmons is able to be the serious cop when needed.
Mm-hmm. I got another good example for you, Running Scared. You remember that one?
Yes, I remember Running Scared with Greg. For y'all youngins, Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal had so much chemistry in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's a movie that gets lost in the buddy cop genre. Thank you, Joe, for that deep cut.
I think they just don't decide what they want to be. And it feels like they just want to be a straight up comedy with this. Because, I mean, if you have a serious meth problem going on in your town,
that shit ain't funny.
Right.
That shit really ain't funny.
and I have to say this, and I'm being facetious, but I'm just saying it anyway. Fuck you, Sean William Scott, for never aging a day.
He still looks like Doug the Thug Glatt 20 years later.
Look, there's really nothing special about this movie other than the comedy. The lines are really funny when they're really funny in here. And to watch Sean William Scott kind of do his Stifler thing as a little bit more of a badass guy is very cool. And Rob Riggle, makes this movie very watchable for me. But that's where I'm at with it. It's one that, and again, another based on true events, which also is the weirdest way to do that.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Come on, let's hear it for Julie.
Gentlemen, let's play.
A vote has been passed to begin construction on the currently unnamed middle school in Douglas.
Let's go, last one. Let's make it count. Hey, up.
But it means building on top of Soldiers Field, where recreational baseball teams have faced off for decades.
Here's just one big backyard. My backyard.
I need to be put down.
Last game. Now we're sitting down Time! You play ball, kid?
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. Don't.
It's all combat. Life. This game. Combat.
Nice to be back on this grass field. It's a shame those pricks are building a school here.
Can't quit this field, huh? Doesn't want to stop playing.
But what are we doing here? Come on! Get going now. The whole game would be pointless.
It was already pointless, fellas. Hey, me, throw the ephus.
The ephus pitch is a type of curveball so unnaturally slow that it confuses the batter.
Makes him lose track of time. It's kind of like baseball. I'm looking around for something to happen. Poof, game's over.
So now we're to a point where it's this is interesting for me. And I'll give a little backstory to as we watched the ephus trailer here. This is interesting because I saw this movie about, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year ago at a film festival. And that's what put it on my radar. Mm-hmm. And I remember people talking about it at the end of the screening. And then, of course, I talked about it later on in the film festival. And then sitting there and watching it in solitary, very much different viewing for me. But this is as you saw the trailer, this is a movie about guys trying to hold on. And there's such a deep, rich subtext to this movie that's very interesting for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise, if you watch this movie and didn't get anything from it, you'd be bored to tears. There's not an aha moment where this movie shifts into some kind of murder mystery or something. It is 18 guys playing fucking baseball for an entire day.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, this film is legit. Because I watched this film as soon as we decided on this slate. So this one has been further out, but this is Clerks on a baseball diamond.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens. It's
without the snappy one-liners either.
Correct. If you've lived in New Hampshire,
yeah,
it's very snappy.
Yeah.
So it takes place in they bring up Nashua a lot because I lived in Cheshire County, New Hampshire, which is about a county over. This takes place in Hillsborough County.
Yeah.
In a small town in Hillsborough County, which is right nearby.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, the New England drawl and the, just the talk and everything, it really took me back. And but yeah, I mean, when you talk about TV shows that are about nothing, movies that are about nothing, it's just, this is what's happening in the world. And this is just regular people reacting to it. That's what this is,
Well, this thing drags it down even further because it shows these guys just not giving up, right? They're not they don't want to say goodbye. They don't want it to end, and so they drag it and they push it and they push it, and it really, you see the wear and tear on them. And I think that's what's so interesting. You have to really stay with this movie because the last 30 minutes of this movie are so fascinating as a psychological study of human beings, really.
Right.
You know?
And it truly is. Because number one, there's no way in hell a baseball game should last this long.
No.
And I've watched professional baseball before they put in a pitch clock. Okay. I remember if a baseball game started at 1, you were lucky if that shit ended at 4.
Yeah. Especially a rec game.
Certain rec games, they didn't last that long.
Yeah.
It was maybe an hour and a half.
Well, I mean, the whole idea is that they were dragging it out on their own.
But they were dragging it. I mean, you want to talk about dragging it out. It's almost like they started a game at like 2.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't end until like to the point where they all got to bring their cars onto the field and put their high beams on. And you still ain't seeing nothing.
Yeah.
Like that is legit.
The irony, which is the coolest writing of it all, is that this game would have probably ended at the first inning if the guy hadn't shown up at the end.
Right. Right. Well, also,
which is great. That is a great written device right there.
It truly
is really well written.
Really was. Yeah. And I think it's an allegory for those of us and look, if you're 20,
it's really about life and death, to be
right.
honest.
It is. And I was just, that was my point I was getting ready to make. For if you're in your 20s or in your teens, you're gonna get to a point where something is over. Yeah. Whether it's high school, college, youth, things that you grew up that were important to you, unfortunately, they will end. That one building that you hold in such high regard, it's gonna unfortunately get torn down one day.
There's a really poignant moment that I keep pointing back to, and I pointed back to it the first time I saw it. And it's really interesting because there's a moment when they're talking about what they're going to do next season, right? There's a guy, that one guy, he asked one guy asked another guy, "Are you going to go play at so and so?" And he goes, "No, that's 2 towns away. I don't want to go that far to play baseball." And then the other, then they ask the younger guy, and they actually tell the younger guy, they tell him, "Hey, you should keep playing." And he goes, and what he says is, "Why? There's no point in it because I could never play like this again. I could never play a game like this with you guys ever again." And I thought that was such an insightful moment in this movie, that the young guy had the forethought and the wherewithal to understand you can never go home again, that it will never be the same. Even if you guys were to go to other towns and play as a team, you will not have the same experience that you had in this moment with these 2 teams.
Right. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I've seen among because you know how in all films and their trailers, there's always a quote.
Yeah.
And one of the main quotes that's put around this movie, it's a sentimental film.
Yeah.
And it truly is.
It is.
So when you watch this, I want you to really give it a try. If of any movie that we've watched, this is the one that I would actually tell you, give it a real try.
And stay with it.
And stay with it.
Even if you're bored to tears at an hour, you fast forward a little bit and you'll get it. You'll get it.
And just try. And even if you don't, keep it in the back of your mind, because give it about a decade and a half. Give it 2 decades. It's going to make sense.
Yeah. I'm saving you a seat. So everybody get ready. The seat might be a little warm, but it's yours.
Yep.
Why, Brian?
Because it's always time to go indie now.